central bank that is determined by maths. No one controls it. It goes up and down, basically like the way a market should, the way interest rates should be set, right? It's actually not a Ponzi. You can use it. There is real life utility to owning Bitcoin, and you don't have to use your stack because the market's liquid 24/7, 365. You can actually buy Bitcoin specifically to use for that one purpose. I've completely lost faith and lost trust in the whole central banking system. The whole fiat system is just an absolute joke.
And then just like the amount of fiat money that goes into dropping bombs, weapons of mass destruction, like everything like that, and the endless money printing, which pushes up housing and food and everything like that. I hate fiat. I hate the fiat system.
You don't understand what Bitcoin is, because then they say stuff like, oh, you're looking at it from a one-eyed, you're like a football, like you're a one-eyed Collingwood supporter. And I said, well, no, that's not true at all, because that's heavily biased, whereas Bitcoin is on facts. And you can't be biased on facts, right? Facts are facts. Facts trump feelings.
Welcome to G'day Bitcoin. On today's show, we have an Aussie who is stacking sats. Andrew, welcome to the show. How are you this morning, man?
Good, man. Good. Can't be better, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, dude. It's such a glorious day. You're just saying that you woke up at 2 a.m., got to the gym, went for a bike ride. How's your morning been? It's like 8 a.m. What have you been up to?
I know that, honestly, mate, for me, that's pretty much 7 days a week.
Let's
Whether
go.
it's the weekend or a Monday, mate, it doesn't matter.
That's crazy. 2 a.m. every morning?
Every morning, mate, without fail. I hit the gym, go for a bike ride, go for a walk in the pitch black, get it all done before, everyone wakes up. That's how I roll, mate. I've been doing it for 13, 14 years.
Wow,
I wouldn't have it
that's
any other way.
awesome. What time do you go to bed?
Not too early. People think, oh yeah, you might go to bed at like 6 or something, but usually it's around 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
To be honest, for most people, that's probably early, but for me, that's a sweet time. I get 5, 6 hours of sleep, and mate, I'm ready to go. Lots of caffeine, and you know.
That's how I live, brother. So many
Oh mate,
teas.
I'm an addict. I'm an addict on that
Yeah.
stuff, mate.
Tea or coffee?
I'm a tea man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been into coffee. Can't get into it. I don't know why, but I've
Because it
always
tastes
been a
like
tea man.
shit.
It does, man. It does. English
Dude, in the
breakfast tea.
cafe. Oh, yeah. I'm French Earl Grey, or I've just found this Persian Earl Grey, bro. Oh, my God. It's
No
just,
way.
it's
Good.
heaven. Oh, dude.
You'll have to
I'll
let me know
send
where
you
you get it
some.
from.
Yeah, we get it from the local whole food shop here, and they're based as these people. They'll accept Bitcoin. They're stacking sats. They're
No
looking at
way, really.
yeah. And they're looking at getting a Plan B passport, just getting out of here.
No.
They're in contact with the Bitcoin way. They're just like, I talk to them, and they're just on the same wave level, like every Bitcoiner. Like they've put in the proof of work. They understand it, and they're like, this is just getting crazy in this country. House price. They've got 2 young daughters, and stuff. But they stack sats, and they it's a beautiful whole food shop. It's just absolutely epic. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'll send you some. It's
100%. Can't wait.
it's so good. For my birthday, my wife got me like a nice thermos that holds like 3 cups of tea and stuff, and then like a kilo of smoky Earl Grey tea, amongst other
Oh,
things. And it's just like, let's go. It's so
let's
good in a packet of
I love
a
it.
smaller packet of premium French Earl Grey. It's just, like, I drink so much. If it's tea bags, I go through 100 tea bags a week. It's just like a box.
Wow, that's
Yeah, man.
insane.
In saying that, I should caveat it, and we're going to get into the Bitcoin soon, but I'll like put 2 tea bags in each cup, and then they don't sit in there for long. And I guess the reason I put in 2 is just so I can get it done quickly. you know, so I don't need to
100%.
sit there and
Yeah.
fucking wait for it to steep. I'm like, I got better shit to do, you know.
I'm with you, man. And it's stronger
Everything.
too.
Oh, and it's stronger, yeah. And it just, I don't know, it tastes better 2 tea bags than one, like for a long time. It's good. So after the gym, fucking 2 a.m., that's pretty epic. Went to the gym and then you went for a bike ride and then you chucked some chicken on the barbecue.
I did, yeah. Had some satay sauce on it, just pure chicken thigh, some satay sauce, and that was it, mate. It was about half a kilo's worth. I go through a lot of meat, man. It's just a lot
Yeah,
of meat. And I'll probably have some more. I bought these really nice grilled burger patties from Coles the other day, 100% hormone free. Um, Amazing. They're brand new, and I'm giving them a go. Had a couple last night. Oh, just insane product. So I'm going to go through quite a bit of those today. Mate,
nice.
I just don't stop eating, and it's with all the physical activity that I do. The
Yeah,
more you do, the more hungry you get. And obviously, protein is something that I'm big on, and I also have my creatine as well. I have a
yeah,
scoop of that in the morning
yeah.
with some citrulline malate as well. I stack that, and
What's
that's pretty much it.
citrulline mallow?
Look, when I was like big into powerlifting and bodybuilding, probably 2015 to about 2018. I snapped my forearm actually in a powerlifting competition, squatting. That
Fuck.
was
Oh,
9 years ago. 9 years ago to the day, nearly on the 8th of August. And I I used to read through a lot of the research, and it was proven that citrulline malate, just a scoop with your creatine, is probably one of the best supplements you can ever get. There's a lot of crap that's out there on the market today that people stack, and it's just a waste of money. But citrulline malate is good for recovery. It's amazing for recovery, and ever since I've been having it, it's probably a placebo, I don't know, but when I have it, I feel like I can definitely squeeze out more reps, more sets, and I can go for longer as well. So it's one of those no bullshit kind of no frills products that I get from the blokes in Tassie, Bulk Nutrients. Just straight out citrulline malate and creatine. I don't muck around with too much, mate. Just keep it
yeah.
simple.
Yeah, I'm just every morning wake up, half a liter of water, a scoop of creatine. If I'm feeling a little bit tired, I'll chuck a couple of scoops in there, a little bit of electrolytes, just so I'm
Yep.
absorbing that water a little bit better, and then go on. But I don't eat until 11:30 in the day, like first meal, and then second meal's 4:30, and that's sort of it.
Yep. And that's
Um,
it. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
which has been good, man. Like I went like full carnivore psycho last year August, so it's been like a full year, and it's just been insane, man. Like a kilo of steak a day. Um,
So good.
Dude, it's people like you can't do that. You're gonna get scurvy or whatever, or your intestines, or you need fiber and stuff. Otherwise, you're
Mate.
gonna get constipated and stuff. You're like, I'm going to try it anyway, and I'm going to see. And it's just been a revolution, man. It's so easy. I don't need to think about it. I go to the butcher, they
No.
cut it up into
Yeah.
250-gram slices. I vacuum pack it, and then I just have two of those 250-gram slices per meal. That's it, like 4 steaks a day, and I don't need to think about anything else. I don't need to go into the shops. Um, for any other reason, unless I'm getting my wife fucking rabbit food, which is all good,
Yeah, each their own. But that's the key thing, right? Like you
That's
said,
it.
try it. See how it works, right? Before you like pay out, like you can even use it with Bitcoin. Try it, see how your life improves. If you don't like it, sell it. Don't buy it anymore. Like
Yeah,
no one's got a gun to your head or anything like that.
yeah.
So
It,
yeah, it just beggars belief, mate.
it's my editor, local bloke, young kid. He's freaking amazing, man. Like he's so talented. Like the intros and stuff that he's been doing, and just putting the podcasts and stuff together. And I said, like, I'm willing to pay you fiat for a couple of videos and stuff, but it's a Bitcoin channel. I pay in Bitcoin. Like everything related to this channel is Bitcoin. And he's like, yeah, I'll accept Bitcoin. Anyway, after like the first 2 videos, I'm like, bro, I'll pay you for the next 4 videos in fiat, but after that's it. Like, let
That's
me know
it.
if you
Yeah.
don't want Bitcoin. That's all good. Like, happy days. Thank you very much. Get other people that'll accept Bitcoin. But he's so fucking talented, and he's so young, and he's so smart and stuff. And it's only like in his best interest. And I gave him book recommendations. Obviously, he's been watching the pod as he's editing, and he's starting to get orange pilled. And so those four videos have run out, and he's edited one video for me. And I'm like, bro, just like I've screenshotted Aqua Wallet, how to be able to do it. You know, you can, where you go like back up now, and you can write down your 12 words or whatever. So that's like a real easy way to get like the self custody of Bitcoin. Yes, it's a hot wallet. Yes, it's not as secure, but it's $250. Like, fucking who cares? You know, if you fuck it up,
Exactly.
it's going to be a cheap lesson anyway. So I'm
Exactly.
like, send him screenshots like how to do this and stuff. I'm like, just send me your address. He's like, oh, I'll look into this tomorrow. I'll look into this tomorrow. And then yesterday I was like, I can meet you in town, like in 10 minutes time. He's like, I'm busy today. I'm like, oh, good. I can see you on Friday. But he's like, oh, I want to understand it a bit more. But the only way you can understand it is literally by doing it. And it's actually not that hard. And he'll have that moment where he's like, oh, fuck, like, why wasn't I doing this at the start? You know, like,
Mm.
because if he was doing that 6 videos ago or whatever, he'd be up like 500, 600, $700 probably by now, just because of the
100%. Yeah.
Bitcoin price. But like, undoubtedly, I'll pay him and then I'll fucking go down. Like, that's going to happen for sure.
It always happens, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
you know what you tell him? You go, well, it's just your opportunity to buy more. You know,
Yeah.
that's the way I see it. So to me, there's never a bad day in Bitcoin because price goes up, cool. Price goes down, I can stack
More
more. Like,
sats. That's
you
right.
know what I mean? It's pure
Yeah.
happiness for me. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it.
That's where the g'day out of g'day Bitcoin comes from. Like, g'day, good day. It's a good day to be in
A
Bitcoin,
good
to pay
day.
attention to Bitcoin, to stack Bitcoin, to get as much fucking Bitcoin as possible, and then go out and just provide value and just be a good person to be able to get as many
Yeah.
Bitcoin as possible. But we were speaking the other day, Andrew, and you got into Bitcoin quite early. You had quite a unique moment. I was wondering if you were willing to share that
Yeah.
with the audience, how you discovered Bitcoin so freaking early.
So I'll just caveat that with the Bitcoin block height at the time of my purchase. My first purchase was 318,000. I think it was about 318,958, and which was September 2014. So I used to hang out with a guy. We used to go to the gym in the city pretty much weekly. He was a professional as well, like me, accounting, finance, sort of thing. And yeah, one day, I honestly I don't remember what we were talking about, but he was always someone who was big on renting rather than owning a property. I think he was in his sort of mid 20s, mid to early 20s, so early like 23 ish. And I was probably about 5 years older than him, so mid to late 20s at the time. And he said to me one day, he goes, "Oh, you should buy one of these internet coins." I'm like, "Oh, I had no idea, never heard of it before in my life." And I was like, "Oh, what do you mean?" He's like, "Oh, just go online, go open up a wallet, a digital wallet, and you can buy one of those coins like Bitcoin or Litecoin at the time." And he's like, "One of them will take off. One of them 100% will take off." So I really don't know why, but I bought Bitcoin. I don't know why.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I know, right? I just had no idea at the time what I was buying, what it was about. You know, the cap, the hard cap. I had no idea about it. And for me, I was actually at the time I was sort of saving for a house deposit, as most people do, and it was around 2014. So property prices had just come out of the GFC. It was quite early on, and they started to run away. So around 2011, 13, prices started to go like that, especially in Sydney and Melbourne where I live. And so I was getting really sort of disenfranchised with the whole system. So I thought there had to be another way, right? And when he like it all coincided around about the same time. So the old adage that people say, you seek Bitcoin or you find Bitcoin when you need it is bloody true. Like it was true
Yeah.
for me, right? So yeah, so from that point on, like I never ever dabbled in shitcoins. I've never dabbled in them in my life. I've never
I,
owned,
I wish I could say
Solana
the
or anything
same.
like that. Yeah, well, I'm in the like the top probably 0.0001% of Bitcoiners that haven't gone down that route. But yeah, and since then, like especially since COVID, probably even before then, around 2016, I started to lose like sort of faith in the whole government system. I remember Malcolm Turnbull became prime minister at the time, and I absolutely detested the bloke. And again, like all of, and I don't know, I was really in the minority at the time with the whole distrust of the government. And then COVID hit.
If you've still got your Bitcoin on an exchange or you're looking to take your Bitcoin security to the next level, I've partnered with the Bitcoin Way. They offer live help for setting up cold storage, running your own node, keeping your Bitcoin private, planning for the future, using multi-sig, and so much more. They never touch your keys. They will not touch your coins. Instead, they'll show you how to buy and keep them safe. If you want to make your Bitcoin setup safer, you can book a free 30-minute call and have a chat with them. Safety Namoose, the author of the Bitcoin Standard, Natalie Brunel, Preston Pish, and so many more recommend the professional IT cybersecurity team. Couple of outstanding things here. You can see they've been featured in Forbes, Bitcoin Magazine, Bitcoin Prague, Zero Hedge, Simply Bitcoin, the Bitcoin Safe Dean, the Bitcoin Standard podcast with Safe Dean and Moose, Bitcoin News, obviously G'day Bitcoin for a long time. They're the world experts in helping people become self-sovereign. It's not just about protecting your Bitcoin stash. Yes, they will help you do that in a very easy to understand step-by-step process. But from there, they can help you secure your data. They are your personal cybersecurity IT experts. And then step number 3 is getting a second passport, a Plan B residency. The team, very cheap, very affordable for people that are looking to take their sovereignty to the next level. You can find out more about their services. When you first log in to their website as well, they have got a free 3-minute quiz to allow you to check if you are doing your cybersecurity, your setup correctly. I urge everyone to jump onto the bitcoinway.com. I have put a link into the description for everyone. Could not recommend them enough. I've used them personally before I ever partnered with them for the channel, friends and family. They asked me to help them out. I'm like, go to the world experts. That is the Bitcoin Way. So reach out to the Bitcoin Way today.
And then it kind of felt like, holy crap, there's all these new people coming to join me with the whole distrust of government. It
Mm.
was a real awakening. And obviously, Bitcoin had, I bought my first for about 500 bucks Australian. And I remember it didn't do nothing for quite a while. It dipped and it was just going, and I'm like, what the hell is this kind of thing? But then, obviously 2017, 2018 hit, and it just went, it skyrocketed compared to what I paid for it. And then obviously COVID hit, and it just hit that magical the 5-digit mark, and I never looked back, mate. It's just I did more and more research, and obviously a lot of new literature has really come on board lately, and you just go down the rabbit hole even more. So I run a node. I've got, as you can see behind me, five miners hashing away, and it's just a never-ending quest of wanting to own more Bitcoin. It's just ridiculous. And I think the first time I learned about the difficulty adjustment was around 2018. Like it blew my mind. I was thinking
Yeah.
a central bank that is determined by maths. No one controls it. It goes up and down, basically like the way a market should, the way
Yeah.
interest rates should be set, right? Like it was just ridiculous. I mean, I had a home loan in 2019, and at the time, interest rates were going down, and I was with one of the big four banks. I don't want to oust them or anything like that, but at the time, they put up my interest rate. I was like, what the hell? Like, what are you doing? Like, shouldn't they be going down like everyone else's is going down? But they put them up. So, yeah, that, like, I've completely lost faith and lost trust in the whole central banking system. The whole fiat system is just an absolute joke. Like, the writing is on the wall. If it's so clear as day, that people that don't see it, like, I don't. There's probably not much more else we can do. But obviously, I keep trying to educate people as much as I can without being preachy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been a long 11 years in the Bitcoin space, um, and I kind of miss the old pure days. I call it probably pre-COVID, because I noticed a lot of people on Twitter X have jumped in since then. I kind of miss the days where there was not much, fanfare, and not many people had heard it. It was still like relatively niche. I've always been someone that does things differently and
Yeah.
isn't afraid of being different. I love that, mate. Like, and that's why I love Bitcoin, because it's fu money. You know what I mean?
100% it's FU money. It just allows you just to do shit, like whatever you want. If you haven't bought Bitcoin, like study Bitcoin, read this book, The Big Print, would be my biggest suggestion. Um,
Larry is such a base legend. I love that
oh,
bloke.
he's so good. I was DMing him the other day. He's going to come on the pod, probably in September, come back again. But he's just such an amazing man. And I only found out recently he sold his business back in the 80s for like $250 million US. And
Crazy.
like, isn't that insane? Like, that's close to nearly $1 billion in purchasing power in today's money. And he's
Nuts.
so humble, and he stands up to the establishment. He was like only like one of the very few people that spoke the language of the bankers in Wall Street and stuff, and said, like, no, you guys are fuckwits. Like, you decimated the middle class in America and like fucked up the rest of the world during the GFC and took all these big bailouts and stuff. And he just does such a good job of like disseminating that information, making it like super clear and concise for anyone to be able to get. And, like, this book is the most special book in Bitcoin to
Oh,
me, because I was trying to, like, over the last 6 years, give my wife like every Bitcoin book that I've read, the Bitcoin Standard, Beers for Bitcoin, Parallel, and all of them are so amazing, so incredible. The Tao of Bitcoin, whatever it is. And she was just like, no, not interested, too dense, whatever. Blackmailed her into listening to it on a road trip. Listened to it
mm,
like they had like 2 or 3 hours left at the end on our way back up from Belgium. And she just starts crying. And so I like stop, pull over. I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, you saved me. You saved our family. I didn't realize, like, I thought it was just magic internet money. I thought it was just something about getting rich quick. Like, I didn't understand. She's like, oh my God. Like she got me, like all the craziness in the last 5, 6 years
mm,
from, because you go down some deep, dark rabbit holes, not dark, I say, but like you go down these really deep rabbit holes, and then you start like looking into big pharma, the chemicals in our water, the chemicals in our food, etc.
yeah.
So I'll like make these big shifts and be like, I'm only eating steak or whatever. And she's like, what the fuck is this, your crazy Bitcoin shit or whatever? And I'm like, yes or no, it's about optimizing health and just like don't trust, verify and stuff. But like once she listened to that book, she got it. She's like, oh, now I understand. It's like really, it's bonded us even closer. Like she'd been buying Bitcoin and stuff, but didn't guess it until like putting in the proof of work, doing her own research. So if it can,
Yeah.
which is crazy because I've put out hundreds of episodes, like talk to the best and brightest within Bitcoin. I'm like, watch this podcast or whatever, but it was a book that did it.
Yeah, it was a book. That was actually the second book that I read. Obviously, the first one I read was Safe's book,
Yeah.
the Bitcoin Standard. I've got his Bitcoin Standard, Fiat Standard, Principles of Economics. I mean, like, I I studied economics in university. It was one of the subjects that I absolutely loved to do. I did it in year 12, year 11, year 12, taught my high school in economics in year 12, and then went on to do an accounting degree, which had economics in it. One of my subjects that I did was sports economics. So I learned about the economics of sports. I absolutely loved it. And yeah, it was reading Safe's book compared to that. It was just obviously night and day different on the principles of the economics. And to be honest, the way he views it and with his knowledge, it really backs up what I understand. So and then you sort of fill in the gaps with what the big print, because he talks about real life examples, right? And from his perspective, this is Larry. So for me, it was sort of combining the two into one, and it's like a sort of a reinforces my belief that Bitcoin is the solution. Like if you don't see that it's the solution, it's not a Ponzi. Like yeah, sometimes I get frustrated pretty easily. I got a lot of friends who they know I'm Bitcoin only, right?
Yeah.
And they say to me, "Oh, when's alt season or when is it XRP?" And I'm like, "Okay, mate, if you don't understand why Bitcoin is different to these coins, then you don't understand Bitcoin. Like if you
Yeah.
you don't understand why those coins are centralized and why that is a big deal, then you don't understand what Bitcoin is. Because then they say stuff like, "Oh, you're looking at it from a one eye. You're like a I don't know if you follow football, but they say, oh, you're looking at football like you're a one-eyed Collingwood supporter." And I said, well, no, that's not true at all because that's heavily biased, whereas Bitcoin is on facts. And
Yeah.
you can't be biased on facts, right? Facts are facts. Facts trump feelings. So
Yeah.
it gets a little bit frustrating for me. And these guys are young, and you'd think that they would see this because they're often the sort of they're like us, right? We're usually on the receiving end of the fiat system. The system's obviously designed to protect those that are already at the top, right? So those
Yeah.
people, for example, Warren Buffett, they don't need it, whereas we all need it. But it's amazing how people have been what's the phrase? Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
You don't
Conditions.
realize you're conditioned that, oh yeah, 2.5% inflation's fine, right? Where it's just not fine. I actually had, speaking of which, I had a guy talk to me the other day. I don't want to dox him or anything, um, and he mentioned to me that he's got a family and he budgets every week to go shopping, and he's on a tight budget, right? So he would budget say $300 a week, and every time he goes to the shops, his $300 a week is not enough anymore because
Yeah.
things are going up, say 10, 15, 20% each time. And so, and he's in his mid 60s, I think. Could be
Yeah.
late 50s, early 60s, something like that. And he's an absolute legend. He gets it. He completely gets it. I really admire someone like him. He's recently into mining as well. He's completely orange pilled, and he's getting his kids involved too.
Nice.
I'm sending him Sats. They've all got an Amber app as well, Lightning app, and I'm sending him Sats, and he's actually giving him an allowance, $10
Nice.
a week in Sats. So if someone like him gets it, like I just don't know why people, in their mid to late 30s sort of don't get it as well. It beggars belief how they don't.
Like I think about this as well. Obviously, the only way that someone's going to be able to get Bitcoin is if they put in the proof of work. They have to read the books. It's not something that you can just be like, yeah, magic internet money, cool, that sounds good. I'm going to get super rich. Like, I'm just going to buy as much Bitcoin. Like, even if they come in with that mentality and then it drops 36%, 76%, they're like, oh, what the fuck? Like, I'm going to stay away from that. Do you think it's because like people in their 30s and stuff, like they're just like getting into the workforce, they've been conditioned to buy a home, they're not really getting paid a huge amount for inflation, obviously, like the house price 18 times annual earnings, etc., and like going up. So they're just so busy, just in the rat race, and they don't believe that they have the capacity to dedicate 100 hours to Bitcoin. Do you think that's more like their mentality and they're just looking for these quick fixes? Like we live in a dopamine world, whether it's Instagram, some chick in a bikini or whatever, and you swipe left or right, or it's X, and like we're just like constantly overfed with distractions and dopamine, but these like quick little hits that we think are making us feel good. So when it actually comes to doing something that would change the course of our lives and internally make us actually feel incredible, which is Bitcoin, they're not willing to go down there just because the way that they've been conditioned, and they're like just so busy running in that rat race.
That's a good question that I honestly think about all the time. To me, mate, like, uh, like you said, property is obviously the big thing in this country, and it goes up 7% a year on average, and you get your
Yeah.
4% gross dividend, coming in every week. To people, they're comfortable with that,
Yeah.
and I truly feel that these people are doing okay. Um, but the majority of people, they, for example, the guy that always tries to talk to me about shit coins. He's got so much information, like on Instagram, coming his way. He's got all these online coaches, they're basically traders, and they'll try and say, okay, XRP is going to go up because of the SEC is dropping their lawsuit and all this kind of jazz, and they're fed so much of this crap they don't know what to filter out.
Yeah.
It's almost analysis paralysis, right? Um, and unfortunately, it's unfortunate that Bitcoin gets swept up as a crypto bro thing,
Yeah.
that people, that unfortunately we get mixed up in that bunch, and it's very difficult to come out of that. Um, and going back to what you're saying about the houses, a lot of these people, they do have property, right? So they're not too bad. They're doing okay. They're sort of just keeping up with inflation, and they've got families, so they don't invest that extra, 100 hours to do the research to say, look, there's actually a better way. You're actually losing to inflation with the property. So for me, I try and lead by example, right? So I currently own an investment property, and I'm going to look when my tenants leave. I've got some really good tenants in there at the moment. I don't want to do anything bad to them and sort of kick them out. But when they leave, I'm going to sell that property and I'm going to turn that into Bitcoin. I'm even going to ask the agent to accept Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Be one of those people that accepts Bitcoin, and I've been using it as well. So these miners I bought from the blokes at Solo Satoshi, actually paid them in Bitcoin. It was the first time I ever paid in Bitcoin. So those little things like that, they add up, right? They really add up, and you got to show them. You got to show the proof of work to these people that look, it's actually not a Ponzi. You can use it. There is real life utility to owning Bitcoin, and
Yeah.
you don't have to use your stack because the market's liquid 24/7, 365. You can actually buy Bitcoin specifically to use for that one purpose. Like you can
Yeah.
almost do it instantly, right? So for me, it's kind of I lead by example to try and orange pill these people. But like you said, I think it's just a lack of investing those hours because I think they're honestly comfortable in the flywheel, which
Yeah.
personally I'm not. And I know
Yeah.
you're not either. So honestly, it takes a different sort of person to really go down that rabbit hole of Bitcoin and integrate
Yeah.
it into their life. Like I was literally, I think about a month ago, I was called a village idiot that needs to take meds because I took my super money out of a super fund, one of the biggest in Australia, and I put it into an SMSF where it's 100% Bitcoin. Right, I
Yeah.
did that in late November. So yeah, it was an okay time. I wish I had done it earlier.
Yeah.
Obviously, not financial advice to anyone out there, but I was called a village idiot, right? But I'm trying to lead by example to show people that this is the way, right? It's very it's a really hard sort of slog to try and get people to see and do the research. Sometimes you just have to um, yeah, you have to be a bit of an ass and sort of throw information at them, like your podcast, for example, all the time. I do it all the time.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the reasons why I keep showing up each week. And when I was doing the news last year and stuff every day, is Bitcoin. It's not like super easy to grok, but once you do
No.
grok it, like it's absolutely amazing. And someone may resonate with me, and if you do, hit subscribe if we vibe. If we don't, like that's cool. Like there's 1,000 other Bitcoin podcasts or newscasters or authors out there, and just find the person that resonates with you. Like my wife loves listening to Natalie Brunell. I enjoy
Okay.
listening to Natalie Brunell as well, but super ground and stuff. Whereas like there's different people, like different strokes for different folks, and that's cool. Like Bitcoin's got all those people here now, so it's just like about finding the right person. But coming back to the self-managed super fund, I did that back in 2020 or 2021, and like greatest
Oh.
decision of my life, which was super cool. So on gdaybitcoin.com, I'm partnering with the self-managed super fund. Not financial advice, but if you're looking for more information, go to gdaybitcoin.com and just like contact me or join our newsletter and get in contact, and I can email and pass that information on for other people. But it's freaking amazing. Like so many people in Australia, like I can't get to one Bitcoin. People that have been working their like 30s or 40s may have 100,000, 200,000 in their superannuation fund. And for example, they can just roll that over into a self-managed super fund, buy Bitcoin through a Bitcoin only exchange, and then take it into self custody. And that's the key. Because of the super system, I think there's been 2 super funds, at least one this year, but I believe 2 super funds have collapsed in this country already,
Yeah.
close to $1 billion, like thousands of Australians, 7,000. Like my numbers may be a little bit wrong, but either way, like it's happening, and that's pretty fucked up. And people are basing their retirement, and you've got the government come and say we're going to tax unrealized capital gains as super balances over 3 million. People like that, it's never going to affect me. It may not affect you, but it'll affect your kids just due to inflation. But
Yeah.
give yourself the opportunity to let that 3 million affect you. It's better to have big money problems. So if you've got 100,000 and hypothetically you roll it into a self-managed super fund, maybe in 10 years, that is $3 million. And then you need to pay the tax and you need to deal with big money
Mm.
problems. I'd still rather do that. If people don't need to contribute to super, though, because they're self employed or whatever, and they're going down that route, probably don't do it because it's fucking totalitarian what they're doing to come. But for the people that are stuck in the superannuation system, my personal belief only is it is way better to take control of that fucking Bitcoin, the money. Like, and that's the thing. People think Bitcoin's just get rich quick, magic internet money. No, it's just the money. It's the best money that's ever existed factually in human history. It was engineered to be that way, and it didn't just like happen overnight. Like the cypherpunks and stuff, there's like a 30-year history before Bitcoin came about. And now we've got a 16-year history. So it's like 45 years. That's a huge period of time that we've been moving towards this perfect money, and we've got it now. But
100%.
it's you need to be intellectually honest and curious with it. I want to bring up this video and Tony Yazbek from the Bitcoin Way. I just saw this morning. I'll actually just read it out, but the UK is about to become the next Lebanon. Small credit card limits, then less than zero, your money gone. Tony says it's coming, and when it hits, your savings vanish overnight. So, like, full disclosure, channel partner, the Bitcoin Way, they're the best in the world in helping people take their Bitcoin off the exchange and self-custody protect it. But he went through Lebanon, and multi-millionaire retired. He was fucking sweet, and then the banks come and just fucking decimated and destroyed everyone's life. He's given this warning about the UK, but we were talking yesterday, and it's like it's fucking coming for Australia as well. I'll play it, Andrew. Let us give us a thumbs up if you can hear it, and then I want to get your thoughts.
The UK is going to be the next Lebanon. These are the signs that clearly point to it. So this is just a different flavor of what happened in Beirut. In Beirut, they started with the restrictions of the credit card limits. Every other day, they drop it and drop it and drop it before it hit zero, and then they completely stopped working. This 800 now locked for 4 days, and it'll go up for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and before you know it, there's no sending money anywhere, and before you know it, there's no access to anything. If I had to make a prediction, I believe UK citizens are about to lose their entire savings, and the banking system will collapse in the same way that Lebanon did.
Intense. What are your thoughts?
It is. So I would probably agree with him. It always starts off small. Things like this always start off small, and there's always some sort of attachment that they will mask. It's like a Trojan horse. So they'll do it because it's for your benefit somehow, right? For example, the whole e-safety thing for your protection, COVID for your protection, So they'll start off small. They'll reduce the limits. What gets me is billionaires and wealthy people have unlimited access to lines of credit and debt, right, to further expand their wealth. Whereas the plebs, they don't, right? Why can't I access? Why can't I access my money? Why can't I access more debt to be able to expand my asset base? Like with the whole APRA restrictions that came in 2018. I remember in 2010, right? Or 30 years ago. I remember I sat down with my mate in 2010. He goes to me, "This is the strategy. You buy a house and you let it grow for a few years. You take the equity out and you roll again into another house. You keep doing that. So as a consequence, people from the boomer generation, nothing to discredit boomers. I know a lot of lovely boomers like my parents, right? And they've got 10 properties. Whereas now the bank will cap you out, even though you've got a decent income after, say, one or two properties. I can't access any more. What the hell changed? So it's kind of the gap between the rich and the poor is widening. And
Yeah.
with these credit card limits, it's just another example of no, not for you, right?
Yeah.
So it's a real life example that happens that when people go and do their grocery shopping and they pay with their credit card, you can't. You're probably going to max out pretty soon. You go and do a $300 shop at Coles, which, let's be honest, isn't much these days, and you're going to be capped out. So the why people can't see that the government has access to your money, despite what you think, right? It's beggars belief, and I truly happen Australia will follow the UK. We follow them like night follows day, right?
Yeah.
And it's just a sad reality that um, that people, like Seinfeld said in one of his episodes when he said to George, if we were back in the old days, you'd be going along. It's one of the episodes where he just says everyone just follows each other like sheep. So I truly believe that will come to Australia. It's an unfortunate thing, but unfortunately, we live in a country that people don't really think for themselves.
Yeah, I was just trying to find it on Google, but like recently Christine Lagarde came out, and I'm like totally paraphrasing, I may mix it up a bit. But like the intention was people have too many savings in the bank and that they don't want that to happen. Like they want to go in there and access that savings. We have the Australian government, a couple of years ago talking about using the money in super is 3 trillion at that stage. It's closer to 4 now for defence spending, or like whether it's unrealised capital gains tax or Commonwealth Bank limiting you to $10,000 a month going into Bitcoin or crypto, where you can place $100,000 in your sports bet accounts if you want to. Like what the fuck's going on here? The Reserve Bank of Australia has been actively researching CBDCs for many years, and like we're leading with that research, and they're thinking about doing a trial. And the UK is going down CBDCs and like the digital IDs that they've got, and stopping freedom of information, freedom to be able to communicate, share ideas. Like you're saying, it's all about safety, and they always say it's like say save the women, save the children, and stuff like that, because they know that if they're saying to the man like it's for your safety, the man are like fuck off, like fuck off. I'm not buying that shit. Like fuck you. I will choose to watch someone get stomped on or punched in the head or whatever fucking cesspool shit is going on next, because that's my fucking choice. Like, I can do that.
Exactly.
But when they aim the messaging at the women and the children or whatever, and the women get all emotional, oh yes, like we don't want to see people getting stomped and stuff. I don't want to see it either. I get it,
Yeah.
but I'm an adult and I can choose to curate my own feed, or I'm an adult, I can choose not to fucking join X or whatever. Like, if that's the case. But for the
Yeah.
government to come in and be like, you're all like, it's for the children. They think we're the fucking children. Like, fuck that shit. I think there's like more and more of a conversation happening where people are just so fed up, like with everything, the cost of living, and the government's not helping. I'm not against immigration in the slightest.
No.
Like, I think it's
No.
actually great, but I do believe we need to shut the border. And even if they don't want to send anyone away, just stop bringing people in, let Australia catch up, and then have enough work and employment and allow the housing and everything. Like, obviously, I think there's too many people right now, but say they just shut the border and over the next 4, 8, 10 years or whatever, we can catch back up. More people are in employment. I think like the biggest issue is there is a cost of living. Everybody's fucking struggling. Nobody's got any work. They've got no purpose in life. So what are they going to do? Like, idle hands makes the devil work. So they're going to go out and they're going to fucking go out and bash people or stab people or just try get something for nothing. Because what other fucking option do they have? Like, realistically, they don't have anything. 54% of people in Australia are employed in one way by the government. Good or bad, whatever, like, take their money, stack sats, fucking great. Like, that's cool. Provide value in your workforce for the team that you work for the community that you're serving within that government job. Like, that's amazing. There's some amazing people doing those things. It's nothing against the individual. It's just about the system is absolutely fucked. But with all those people, 54% employed by the government, great. That's cool. But for the rest of the people, like the attack on small businesses and stuff, they're talking about raising GST. I'm a small business owner. I'm not fucking paying GST. I'm passing it on, and that fucking sucks. But I can't afford to be able to pay it, to be able to take that hit. Like, we're already running small profit margins, and like, you work so hard to be able to get a little bit of a runway or whatever so that you can scale and you can employ more people who, like yesterday when I was paying everyone, and it's like a huge amount of wages each fortnight. But then you look at the super and the tax. It's like between the super and tax, like it's nearly like 50-50 split. Like the cash that ends up in their bank and then the cash that like goes away. And that's why I'm such a big advocate, if you can, of a self-managed super fund. People need to do their own research, like make their own fucking decisions. But at least you can take a little bit of that control, but then we are like taxed so high. It's crazy. Like
Then you got
it's
to
so
add on
crazy.
the payroll tax, mate.
Well, not at that point yet, but that's, you know, like you scale and you do something amazing, and then you're paying so much in fucking wages. They want to like charge you even more. Like, what the fuck? You're just trying to give people employment and provide value and stuff. So we're doing that. They make it super hard. The government's employing people, but they make it super hard for small businesses. COVID, like so many small businesses shut down. Of course, there's going to be chaos and unease, and people are just fucking fed up. I don't know, you know, like we say, fix the money, fix the world, but Australians are asleep overall to Bitcoin because of property. But if the only property you have is your house, it doesn't serve you in the slightest. You sell it, you can buy, like you're buying in the same market anyway. Your wealth's not changing.
100%,
You're not getting like any wealthier or richer or whatever. So like, what do you think the answer is?
You know what? My uncle, who's really surprises me. My uncle, I don't know the whole story. So he's a financial advisor, right? And he's probably, I think he just turned 60 years old. Such a cool uncle, right? He's very, very well off. And he actually owns some Bitcoin. I found out recently he actually owns Bitcoin. But the way he owned it, I don't know how much he owns or anything like that, or if it's a substantial amount. But the way he ended up with it is quite astonishing. So I'm completely paraphrasing, but and this is what gives Bitcoin a bad name, right? He owns a small business. He's a financial advisor, right? And his computer system was hacked one day in 2017, and the attacker said basically, you got to pay me in Bitcoin, and I'll give you I'll give you back your access to your system. So he ended up getting all this advice from, I think, cops or someone. I'm not entirely sure who. So he ended up buying some Bitcoin, and then he met the people in like a servo or something one night. I don't know how he gave it to them. I don't know if it was in a USB or something, right?
Yeah.
And
Piece of paper.
he apparently, yeah, something. I'm not entirely sure, but he still owns some of it to this day. And I always
Nice.
see him probably every Christmas. It's not like he's continued to stack. It's something he's just kept, and he's curious about it. It's probably it's probably gone up from, he bought it for probably, a couple of $1,000, and it's obviously at 180,000. And he's like comparing that to his property, and he's probably thinking, what the hell am I doing advising property? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and he doesn't, whenever I talk about it and preach about it at Christmas, he doesn't tell me, oh, it's such a dumb idea, it's a Ponzi or anything like. Completely, he's like, his eyes are widened, and he's listening.
Yeah.
So he actually owns some. He's got some skin in the game. So to me, I think that was his sort of awakening that this is real. And his kids just dabble in shit coins, right? Just complete. They're like early 20s, and they just do all the
Yeah.
memes, and it's just like, mate, look at your dad. He's done well. He even owns Bitcoin. Why aren't you following in these footsteps, kind of thing?
Yeah.
So again, those kids don't need it at this point. They probably will when they want to buy a house.
And then it's too late.
And by then it's too bloody late, right? And then going back to what you're saying about the government, what about the future fund that Costello set up in, the early to mid 2000s, when Australia was going through the mining boom, and we had all this wealth we didn't know what to do with. So John Howard and Peter Costello started up the future fund. I'm not entirely sure how much is in there. Could be trillions, it could be billions or something like that. But I bet no one's going to touch those funds, right? Like,
Yeah.
what are they doing with that? Our funds you can touch, but the government's funds, no one touches
Yeah.
it. To be honest, the way they're managing that is just an absolute. They've got it in equities, managed funds, and all this sort of stuff, when they should have just been buying Bitcoin with it. I bet you go and tell them just to buy Bitcoin, and you'll turn it into something amazing. They wouldn't even listen to you.
No. Like, I've been thinking about that. Like, say Jared Rennick reached out to him early last year, so well over 12 months ago now. And at the start, he said like he'd meet with myself, Daz, Lawrence Lepard. Like, I reached out to him and then gave him access to the best and brightest people in this country and worldwide. And any Bitcoin or anyone that's gone down the rabbit hole would be like, fuck yeah, I'll be there for that conversation. Yes. But because he's part of that traditional system, he was like, yeah, interested. And then the election got called and he got busy and stuff. And then he said a couple of stupid things, or not even
Yeah.
stupid things, just ignorant things. And the Bitcoin community came on and absolutely attacked him because he's a politician, he's part of that system and stuff, which wasn't the right way to go about it as well. Like, fucking shame on the people that did that. But he's just like fuck this. These people are all crazy. And I can understand that the Bitcoin community can turn people off, because like a lot of us are pissed off with the traditional system. We're angry at it. Like, we can see the injustice. And, back to Lawrence Lepard again, fix the money, fix the world. I fucking hate war. I hate destruction. Like, what's going on with just all the wars around the world and the destruction of human life, the loss of human life. And then just like the amount of fiat money that goes into dropping bombs, weapons of mass destruction, like everything like that. and the endless money printing, which pushes up housing and food and everything like that. I fucking hate fiat. I hate the fiat system. It's disgusting. It's despicable, and they can come across as angry and arrogant. And when we're talking to people where the fiat system has benefited, or they're part of the fiat system, they've grown up, say as a politician for Jared Rennick or whatever, I can see that he wants to try and prove that system because it has worked for them. It did work for the boomers and the people that bought the house, and fucking good on them. They like figured it out and they played that game and they used it to create their own wealth, to be able to support their own retirement and be able to pass on wealth. I've nothing against that. That's great. But for me, I'm like, I don't want anything to do with that. It's so evil. So if someone from that system's coming over to us and they see myself and all these angry young men at the fiat system, they're like, fuck, I'm not interested in that. We're actually, if we could come across a little bit more ground, and I think that's like where the Natalie
I
Brunell
agree.
type of people come in, where it can be beneficial.
What I don't understand about Jared Rennick is he's supposed to be a conservative or a libertarian, and he's supposed to be distrusting of government. Bitcoin's very ethos is born out of distrust for the government. They go hand in hand. I feel like saying, mate, you were actually kicked out by your party. You should be
Yeah.
angrier than we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just really don't get it.
Yeah, something about, I don't know, it's got attachment to the Australian dollar and bonds or something like that. He was going on about something, but he just believes in the Aussie dollar. But like anyone that believes in any fiat anywhere around the world, it's the reason it's called fiat. It's backed by a decree. That's the definition of fiat. It's not backed by gold. It's not backed by proof of work. It's not backed by anything of value apart from the fear of imprisonment or the fear of fucking, or just like military power. The reason the US government, the world reserve currency still to this day is because they can drop bombs. Like, it's crazy, and I think people don't make that distinction. And that's like, it is what it is. Like at the end of the day, it's fine, but it's also pretty bloody sad. You know,
It is
like
sad.
we don't
Yeah.
need to be that way. And they're like, Bitcoin, magic, internet money, it's not backed by anything. Well, yes, it's backed by the largest decentralized computing network in the world. It's like the amount of energy that's going onto it. You know, you're mining, I'm mining, you're running a node, I'm running a node, and like, there's nobody in charge. There's set rules, no rulers. It's poetic.
Completely. Yeah, I agree with you, man.
Yeah, we couple of minutes to be able to wrap it up. If you want to bring up anything, and I'm just going to pass it over to you, Andrew. Any messages or any thoughts for the audience community, whether they've been stacking sats for a long time or they're just starting to find the pace. Like to be honest, the people that have gotten to 54 minutes are not new to Bitcoin. Like they are the legends that have been stacking sats for a long time. So shout out to you, ladies and gentlemen, but over to you, Andrew.
For me, it's I think it's keep it simple. Probably as much as the Natalie Brunells and all that are really good, or the Michael Saylors. To me, they're just like pretty faces that don't really give you the true ethos of Bitcoin. It's to actually listen to academia. I find listening to people with more that are more credible. So people reading the Bitcoin Standards, probably number one, and Lawrence Lepard's book number two. Those two, and then working the ground up. So complementing that with podcasts like yourself, listening to real world examples, right, of how people have lost trust in the government, and get some skin in the game. I think, get a Bitaroo app or get the Amber app and start stacking sats. Like instead of going out and buying a coffee or buying a Monster Energy drink or something like that, put that money, because people do that daily. So put that money into an app and sort of just stack it, right? So you're not losing anything; you're actually gaining something at the end of the day. and once people get their hands a little bit dirty, and then they can start reading the books, reading the podcasts, educating themselves, learning about self custody. I absolutely love BTC sessions. Ben,
Yep.
he is
Shout out.
phenomenal. Yeah, shout out to Ben.
Amazing.
He's such a good bloke. Like learning about self custody from him, learning about running a node from him, and that sort of sparked me to go down further into the rabbit hole of mining. He even has got a lot of content on mining as well. So yeah, for my end, mate, just people just need to keep it simple. And probably the worst thing people can do at the moment is the Instagram traders. Just stop watching those blokes. They're just the worst. That's Ben.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
BTC
he's
sessions on YouTube.
such a legend. And for me, it's all about having a cold wallet, educating yourself on self custody as well. I use a
Yeah.
cold card, learn about multi sig. It's very important. That way, you sort of you never lose your Bitcoin. You realize that you own it and no one can bloody touch it. I sleep like a baby, mate.
Yeah.
It's quite funny. People always say to me, "Does it keep you up at night?" I'm like, mate, it does the complete opposite, mate.
Yeah.
Like you clearly don't understand it, like, and
Yeah.
this is where people need to really educate themselves and learn that self custody means no one can touch it,
Yeah.
So yeah, and I know we hear it a lot, but we are still quite early,
Yeah.
and don't let the what is it the bias of the price sort of discourage you. So I sort of implore people not to get discouraged. Obviously, do their research. So yeah, just stack harder, mate. That's all it's about.
I love that. And like yesterday, we hit an all-time high here in Australia.
We
Still not in
did.
the US. But so, like basically, it's the most expensive Bitcoin's ever been. But I also think for like risk-adjusted reward, it's probably one of the cheapest times that it's ever been. Like the amount of
Cool.
regulation that's coming over, like even in Australia, as hard as they make things just in general for people to accumulate wealth. They have classified it as property. So like you've got the right of law around it. Yes, like they've done that so they can get more tax and stuff, but you can loan it against it for house and stuff. Not that I'm advising that. I think that's absolutely silly. Like, but you can do that. So like from a law point of view, it's pretty safe within Bitcoin, like in Australia, but then you can hold it in self custody. Like you can do that. And then like what Trump's saying and BlackRock and everything like that, like all the risk is removed, but it doesn't mean you're not going to buy it and then it's going to go down like the next day. Like that happens. So like my thoughts or
Mhm.
advice is if you do choose to buy it, like have a 4-year mindset. And if you can
Minimum.
DCA every week or every 2 weeks for the next 4 years, which is what I've done for the last 5 years, is every 2 weeks at least minimum, is just keep buying Bitcoin. It could be $5, it could be $1, it could be $10. You get a little bit of an extra bonus at Christmas, $500 bonus or whatever. Chuck it in, but it's not really worrying
Absolutely.
about what it's doing it for
No.
4 years. You're just like cool, and then by that time, and I say 4 years because it's a bit of a stretch to their imagination. But if someone's doing it for 4 years, they're probably going to do it for another 4 years and another 4 years,
Correct.
Or they're like, cool, but they know it. But just thinking, I'm going to come in and get rich quick. It's not going to happen. Like maybe, but it's not what it's about. It's actually about just not
No.
getting poor.
Yeah, preserving your capital, 100%.
Yeah, yeah. But brother, it's been a pleasure. We'll have you back on. For everyone out
No
there,
worries, mate.
please, thank you. Please do something nice for yourself today. For somebody else out there, be blessed. Peace.